Very good evening, everyone. First of all, let me welcome you all for this AWS Solutions Architect Training Program. So, yes, first of all, I am wishing all of you a very festival day. Yes, let me just recap what we have spoken yesterday. So yesterday was also a good time for us to discuss on what we call as the AWS Additional Services. So yes, we started with a couple of important what we call as cases. We did two cases yesterday, and then we also gone through the additional services. We initiated with the basic plans, the plans, very important ones. Okay, so the free plan, that is the basic plan, and then again the technical support plans for us, especially the developer, and of course your business plan, your enterprise plan, and all various kind of differentiations. We spoke about all kind of differentiations about various type of plans. It is good for all of you to remember the differentiations because the plans vary a lot for the technical support features. Yeah, and then we initiated with some additional security services. So we started with one of the important security service that is called as AWS Shield. So we learned about what is AWS Shield standard and also advanced. So we understood about I just narrated about the DDoS, the dynamic, distributed, denial of service attacks. Okay, how the attacks are performed and how the what we call is the non-availability of the services happens. So this shield protects you from DDoS kind of attacks, and also advanced shield will also protect you from even from other sources like CloudFront or maybe Global Accelerator or maybe any other Route 53, etc., to various other kind of things. Later on, we have also gone through the other things like in AWS security. We spoke about the things. Most important one is the well-architected framework, the 6 pillars. So I spoke about all the 6 pillars and its importance and also key topics. So that is key topics which are, 6 pillars includes, earlier it was 5, that is C for cost optimized, R for reliability, O for operational excellence, P for performance, and S for sustainability, not S for what is that? There is S for sustainability is the new pillar which has been added, and another S for
Security.
security. Yes, absolutely, the most important one, the security. So all these 6 pillars are very important, and also key focus areas also we have discussed. So please go through number of times this particular one, well architected framework. And also we have gone through some of the other areas, like we have gone through artifacts yesterday. So important ones only I'm speaking. Yes, the artifacts are also very important. So in order to take the compliance reports, etc. And also we have gone through this, what is that? I think these are the important ones which we have gone through. So today we will also carry forward some of the important services like like Cognito. We will start with Cognito services. And else, any other questions do you have? Please let me know. So in our previous class also, we have gone through the services like FSX, and of course your data sync, and of course your global accelerator, all these kind of things. So these are all very important, especially for your examination point of view also. Yeah, any questions from any members, please let me know. Else we can go ahead with today's topic, that is continuation of your AWS special service and additional services.
I'm good, sir.
Yeah, else others also, please do let me know.
No questions.
Just a second, I'll start the sandbox. Yeah, anyone else, if there are any specific questions, please ask. So let me start with today's topic, that is in continuation to yesterday's one. So that is Shield we have done, health dashboard also we understood, security bulletins also I spoke. well architected framework, yes, I spoke. And then artifacts. So this is the one. Yesterday we have gone through all these important areas. Please go through in detail about a little bit, especially the captions. Very, very important. These are the caption. No cost, self-service. These are the things. And this particular one. So these are called as captions, and of course some highlight of the service. That is important. That is enough for us. So now let me speak about this Cognito service. So this is again mostly helpful for the developers Cognito service. So what does this do? What does this do? I'll just highlight this on Cognito service. So most of you might be using this mobile apps, right? We use a lot of mobile apps. Some of the mobile apps we use a sign up process. Sign up means that you give your details like your email ID or so and so for registration of your app. But some of the apps which you see does require sign in only. So sign in you can do no need of doing a sign up. You can sign in using the prominent applications like your Google account, any Gmail account or anything like that, or maybe Facebook. You can sign in using Facebook, even though that app is not at all related to that particular the parent app like Google or Facebook or maybe some Amazon or maybe something like that, prominent apps which are there. So those apps which contains the sign up, okay, but the apps which we are using uses only a sign in with any prominent. This is called as a Cognito service. I tell you once again, a Cognito service. So what does it do? It uses a temporary credentials. So the credentials are already mapped to the primary, the main app. The supplementary app which you are using, it doesn't receive anything about the information from the parent. It only uses a, oh, okay, you authorize, I agree, I also okay, like that. A temporary credentials from the main service, main app, and then it will allow you to access the application. Okay, so this is called as a Cognito service, and this is also sometimes we can say as an open authentication, and this is also called as SAML. We learnt about HTML, we learnt about like that, right? So this is called as SAML. SAML means security assertion markup language. Security assertion markup language. The credentials are there, it will map accordingly. Open authentication is required for this type of apps. Okay, so just understand, Cognito lets you to sign up, sign in, and access control to the web and mobile apps quickly and easily. So I referred for mobile apps. Sometimes it can be web apps, web applications also. Cognito scales to millions of users and supports sign-in with social identity providers, okay, such as Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon, and enterprise providers via SAML 2.0. I just spoke about the SAML, Security Assertion Markup Language, and OpenID Connect. So here in Cognito, you can create your own app in this particular one. See, for the developers, they do a lot. You can see where is the, I think by this time the sign up has, yeah, I'll just show you. There are two parts in your Cognito. So this is not free tar. You can create an app for the Cognito application, and for the other apps also you can define whatever are the apps which can sign in accordingly. So Cognito is a consumer identity and AWS credentials for federated identities. See this one, manage user pools, manage identity pools. No need for us to do anything. So Cognito offers user pools and identity pools. User pools are users directory that provide sign up and sign in. So this one is sign up and sign in. Identity pools provide credentials to grant users access to user AWS services, to other services. Here you have only sign in, you don't have sign up. So this sign up, sign in for this particular pools, and here you have sign in. So this is the kind of Cognito service which is, again, maybe one question may be asked relatively. You please understand this SAML and OpenID Connect. This type of questions may be asked. Which service will help you using this social identity providers such as Apple, Facebook, Google, something like that, which using SAML 2.0. It is Cognito 2.0, Cognito, like OpenID Connect, or AWS Cognito Services uses what type of so I mean sign-in process like your SAML 2.0 and OpenID, something like that he will ask. Okay, so yeah, this is about Cognito service in brief. In brief. Okay, please go through the caption and identity information. So that is more important. This one, which I mean to say. Okay. So the now next service. Next service. Any questions from anyone? I just gave you an understanding about this Cognito service and how it is used. Mostly the developer uses all this user pools and identity pools, user pools creation and all these things. Apps can be derived or defined by the application team itself. Yeah, any question from any members? Understood? Can one of you respond?
Yes, sir.
No
That's
question.
right. That's fine. That's fine. So let me move ahead with another service. Let me move ahead with another service. Cognito is done. So let me take up this one, Firewall Manager. So this is again a very important service. I tell you, this is a network service, network and also a security service. Network and also a security service. So all of you are aware of firewall. What is the basic functionality of the firewall? Anyone? Basic functionality of the firewall. We keep hearing from ages. What does firewall do? Just a second. I'm sorry. Where we are?
Yeah. So one question regarding the
Firewall.
Cognito. Yeah, Cognito.
Yeah. Please ask. Yeah.
So as a solution architect, right? Do we have to configure anything for
Yeah.
particular applications or anything like to access that feature, or how
No,
does
we don't have.
we enable that for
Mm.
any particular
So for
thing?
solutions architect, only one straight question he may ask you. So like the protocol that is SAML and OpenID Connect, like that. That's all.
Okay,
In
but
awareness of the
configuration
service.
was for user, like if you want onboard some application where they
No,
need
we don't
this
do. We
feature
don't
to
do.
be.
Operations team will do.
Oh, okay.
SysOps team.
Mhm.
Developer team will create the app, and SysOps team will generally take care of the daily operations work,
Okay.
right? So there is nothing big also over there. Once the app is created, so normally even we use mobile apps also, right? So
Mhm.
whenever we download an app, suppose if you install a new app and if it asks for identity, what will you give? So normally you give Facebook ID or maybe Gmail ID or something like that, and then get authenticated, finished, and you get access to that.
Okay.
That's all. That
But to
understanding is
access
enough.
the, yeah, but to access the application, what we have created, maybe instance or something web-based or some application we are, uh,
Correct.
onboarding onto the
See, this
AWS.
type of application is normally you may be needed to understand because there is a service called as an SSO. SSO is single sign-on service.
Single
So
sign-on.
even in your corporate also, you have multiple services. And
Yeah.
multiple authentications is very difficult for us. You have a portal for HR, you have a portal for training, you have a portal for quality, you have a portal for time attendance, you have a portal for email,
Yeah.
hundreds, number
SSO,
of
they
portals,
can.
right? Very tough for us to remember the email IDs, the usernames, passwords for each and every portal,
Yeah.
right? So what we can do, we can integrate
SSO and okay.
SSO. So this is nothing but SAML. If it is
Okay.
mobile apps, then we call it Cognito service. You
Okay.
can define your parent app and the other apps you can sign in across. It's not only needed for your in internet. It can be even used in your project sites also.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, but more or less everything is managed by the developers. We don't do anything. We only just sign in.
Okay.
But service needs to be known when you are giving a solution. So we need to define. This is one way of identifying,
Mhm.
right? And it is
Yeah.
available. And this is one of the security service,
Mhm.
right? Because there is no need to basically sign up for multiple things. And so the parent app will take care, giving all the temporary credentials to all the apps which are associated.
Mhm. Okay.
Sorry? Yes.
Yeah.
Is this clear?
Yeah, yeah.
The word SAML OpenID needs to be known,
Yeah, yeah. So that's.
right? And the abbreviation of that,
Mhm.
how it is basically authenticated. This is the assertion markup language will be I mean authenticated,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Okay, now
thanks.
yeah. Any other question from anyone? Okay, so my question now, firewall. We all heard about what is firewall from ages, right? So what is the basic functionality of the firewall?
Restrict unauthorized access.
Mm, okay,
Gateway for
I
the
take
traffic.
part of that. Rubina,
Gateway for the traffic.
get
Up, incoming and out. Gateway for the traffic.
gateway for the
Incoming
traffic,
and outgoing traffic.
gateway for the incoming outgoing traffic. Your answer is not complete, but it has some answer.
Protect our data to restrict to the firewall.
How does it protect? Okay, protection is always there. How does it protect?
We have ports, right? So authorization
Yes,
only.
yes, yes, correct. So it protects the data by restricting or by defining or the ports, basically the ports. So one beautiful example which you have done since beginning is the security group. Security group. We all know about the security group. What does security group do? It basically allows or denies the ports which you have defined. By default, everything is denied. Only you are defining the allow ports in security groups. If you don't define anything, it is denied, right? I hope all of you remember what is security group. For every instance, we generally configure the ports. So especially port number 22 or port number 3389 or 33 any other ports, NFS or RDS or anything, we generally allow. So this is basically for the instance. This is also a firewall. The security group is also a firewall, but the firewall is of two types. I tell you, firewall is of two types. One is of host based firewall, that is for the instance level. The other thing is for the network level. Again, I tell you, two type of firewalls: host based firewall, and the second one is network based firewall. And the host based firewall is nothing but security groups. The host based firewall is nothing but the security groups. The second one is network based firewall, is the thing which we are discussing now. It basically controls the entire VPC. If you are having 10 instances in one of your VPC, right, you can configure your firewall to block at an organizational level, at a VPC level itself, to block a particular service, a particular port. So even if you allow there also, it will be blocked, because at the gateway level, as Rubina said, at the gateway level itself you are blocking the service. You are defining it. You need to define the service. So the service, if it is blocked, it will not allow. If it is allowed, so here you have two type of a firewall. Network based firewall has two type. One is allow, the other is deny. That's all, nothing else. What it allows or what it denies? The service. What service? Network service, like your FTP, Telnet or NFS or RDS or anything, whichever is a port. There are, for your information, there are about 65,536 ports. For every network, there are 65,536 ports. A port can be either TCP or UDP. If you want more information, you can go into the TCP UDP services, you will understand. Some of the common services like port number 22 is SSH, 21 is FTP, 25 is basically your SMTP mail, Port number 80 is your www. We learned in the beginning. So these things you can configure your firewall at a VPC level. Whenever you say VPC, it is a network level. So whenever you add hosts to the VPC, it is basically the instances. You can control at an instance level also, but how many things? At an organizational level itself, you can basically configure your firewall. In firewall, you have allow as well as deny. But in your security group, you have only allow. Otherwise, everything is denied. Okay. So now let us learn about the firewall. See this one, AWS Firewall Manager. Centrally configure and manage firewall rules across accounts and applications. You can see is a security management service which allows centrally configure and manage firewall rules across your accounts and applications in your AWS organizations. I'll explain about AWS organization also a little bit now. So as new applications are created, Firewall Manager makes it easy to bring new applications and resource compliance by enforcing a common set of security rules. Now you have a single service to build firewall rules, create your security policies, enforce them in a consistent hierarchical manner across your entire infrastructure from central administration account. Okay, so yeah, AWS network firewalls across your accounts, VPCs in your organization. Finally, with the Firewall Manager, you can also associate your VPCs with Amazon Route 53 DNS firewall, resolver, this is a DNS resolver firewall rules. So how you can basically get into this particular one? Just say Firewall Manager, network firewall. So yeah, you can see both things are similar. Firewall Manager. So just click that. Protect your web applications from common web exploits. You can see this particular. WAF is a web application firewall. Service that lets you monitor web requests that are forwarded to Amazon API Gateway and Amazon CloudFront distribution. See this one. See, not only for your VPC, this one firewall, the difference between Firewall Manager and this WAF Firewall Manager, this one is WAF. Basically, this will not only help you for your VPC, but also for your other things which are forwarded, CloudFront distribution and also your load balancer also. You can protect those resources based on conditions that you specify, such as an IP address that request and originate from. Okay, so this is at managed at a network level. And you can see this is your network firewall manager, which is there in your VPC. It has already taken your VPC basically. Here you have this firewall also, where you define your ACLs. This is the ACLs. You can see this one, or the rules. ACLs are nothing but access control rules, which will define you the rules here. Network firewall, similar to that, access denied, but still this is how you perform in the firewall, etc. in this network firewall, which is very similar. But now let me also explain about this organization. So this is one question which you get, whether I don't know whether you get from firewall or not, but you get one question from organizations. I tell you, what is AWS organization? Very important topic, I tell you. So very simple to understand, but very important also. So I'll tell you, especially when you go into any organization, whether it is a university or whether it is a plant or maybe any organization, you take up any major organizations. Let me take a manufacturing organization. You have several departments, right? In every manufacturing, it's a manufacturing, or maybe it can be a pharma industry, or it can be a retail industry, or it can be as simple as a university or educational segment, anything. You have several departments. Every department functions with its own, functionality. Only certain things, maybe they are working, everyone are working in the same umbrella, but still everyone has their own rules. Like you take an organization called as maybe an IBM or a HP or anything, you take up anything, or a HCL or Accenture or anything. They have several projects also, several departments also, several departments. Let me name some of them. The departments, the day one you join, HR will be there. They have their own functionality. They are mainly responsible for you to taking it on board, organize trainings as needed, promotions, that's all. For loans, salaries, finance will be there. That is another department. Okay. Quality department is there. Maybe purchases department is there to ensure that all purchases are done from time to time. Administration department is there. Engineering department is there. Many departments, I just name some. All these departments work on its own, even though they are working in a same umbrella. Do you think that any department can share information about their department with other department? Yes or no? Again I say, do you think that any department like human resources department data, can they share their data with some other department? Will they share?
No, until unless not required.
They'll never share. They'll never share. Like finance team is there. Will they share to human resources? Maybe a particular person's data, if it is needed specific for so and so, based on the reason, they may share to them internally, that too confidentially, not for public.
Right.
Right. Even our project data also. Our project data also. Will we share it to other project data?
No, never.
No, never. Highly confidential. And that is how the projects work. So if we say that no, that fellow is also from the same organization and I am also from the same organization, he has asked, okay, it is a violation. It is violation. If I try to share anything, it is violation. So let me tell you now a basic question. After knowing all these things, if we have one cloud account and if we ask all the servers to be shared across various departments, will they agree?
No.
So one instance, maybe if there is a project A is having about 5, one of the client, okay, they require about 5 servers, you create, give it. There is another project B, he wants about 10 servers, you create and give it to him. Will he accept those servers? Will client accept all those things?
No.
There is project A and project B also. There can be always be possibility, right, that the instances can always be accessed by the other project A person from project B also. Yes or no? Very simple. Even the Linux server, from the console itself we are able to access. The administrator, is it asking for password? Connect to Linux instance. We get it, right?
Yeah, got it.
Even from the, even from the systems manager also you can connect. You can see the console status. So that way customers will not, even administrator also will say, no, I cannot manage like this. Because if project A is there, only project A server should be there. Project B is there, project B servers only should be there. They won't accept. In real world, they don't accept. So how do you manage all these things? So normally, AWS says one thing. Every department, let them have their own account. Please listen. So if there is a department A, let them have their own account. They create their own servers. Let them manage everything. Project B is there. Project C is there, everyone. Or maybe department A, department B, department C, like that they have their own accounts. Now how many accounts are there in an organization? Maybe if I take 15 accounts are there. 15 individual accounts are there. All of them are in the same organization. So now AWS says that You can have individual account A, account B, account C, account D, account J, account K, like that. Club it into one umbrella, that is called as organization. AWS organization. In organization, you can have all the accounts clubbed. So what is the specific advantage? Now people will ask, why should I club? What is the advantage? Advantage is that you, first thing, I'll tell you several advantages. One is you will have a consolidated view, how much you are doing, not the individual access of the accounts, consolidated view. Oh, you are having about 50 servers. Fine. Server A, account A 10, account B 11, account C maybe 3, account D like that. So total about 150 servers you have. Fine. The biggest advantage which you get is you will get a volume discount. You will get volume discount. Suppose if you are creating another account in an organization called as account K, you are creating. So now you are creating an instance in that. So will it be the first server? Maybe for that particular account it is the first server, but overall already 50 are there, it will be the 51st server, and you will be getting the billing discounts based on the volume. Is this clear? And second advantage is that, yes or no, any one of you can respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and the other benefits which you have is that at the top management who are sitting at the top, they'll see that how much utilization is being done across at all levels. They can see the complete configuration. They can also see where the wastage is happening or where the effective usage is happening. If there is a crisis, they can always see that, shuffle accordingly. Okay, at least the top visibility will be there. And the other advantage is that in that itself, in one go, the account manager at the top can pay all the bills. No need to go individually and get it approved. They see the top management will have a very clear availability, and also at an organizational policies itself they can take it account. Organizational policy they can take. Once it is defined, all the accounts will get the same policies accordingly, and they basically focus on their own individual functionality, but still they are in the same organizational umbrella. Is this clear? Organization has several benefits. So because of these benefits, Amazon, which is pushing across these things, organizations will benefit based on the accounts which you create. And account manager can see the total view, and also for auditing purpose, for configuration purpose, or federation purpose, etc. All these things can be centrally managed. Is this clear?
Okay.
Is this clear? So that is why we use this concept.
So your voice is gone. You muted. You muted
Sir,
yourself.
you're on mute.
You muted yourself, sir.
We lost your audio.
Sorry. Now you can able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, speaker.
Okay. So I'm just showing you these organizations. This is AWS organization. You see this are central management for multiple AWS accounts. Please remember, you will get one question. So you don't have permissions because only account manager can view this particular one. Only add. If you are the sole account manager, then only you can have this particular one. AWS account organizations enables you to centrally manage and consolidate all your AWS accounts into the AWS cloud. Okay. So you see this one, how it works. You add accounts, group accounts, apply the policies, and just enable your services. That's all. At an organizational level, you can apply some of the policies which are there. So what does it do? AWS helps you centrally manage and govern your environment as you grow, scale. This is normally done by this account manager, not by the administrator. Administrator has, so if you are project A administrator, you will have only your project A account. If you are project B administrator, you will have project B account. But overall account manager will have the consolidated view of all the accounts which he is managing. Use AWS organizations, you can create accounts and allocate resources, group accounts to organize workflows, apply policies for governance, and simplify billing. As I mentioned, simplify billing by using a single payment method for all your accounts. Normally, AWS gives you a lot of benefits accordingly. AWS organizations integrated with AWS services, so you can define central configurations, security mechanisms, audit requirements, as I mentioned, all these things, and resource sharing across accounts in your organization. See, all these things which I'm showing you, there is no practical for us. Only real-time implementation only happens at a corporate level. Okay, AWS organizations is available to all AWS customers at no additional charges. There is no cost to use this AWS organizations. I hope this is clear. So benefits and features, manage your AWS accounts, define and manage your organizations. Please go through this particular one, very, very important. Secure and monitor your accounts. You can secure your accounts also. Control access and permissions, that is SSO. Share resources across accounts, audit your environment for compliance, centrally manage billing and costs. So these are some of the advantages which I discussed just now. So this is called as AWS organizations. Okay, so this is a part of your what we call as day-to-day operations. So that will give a greater security and benefits also for the account holders of AWS. Yeah, any question? Any question? We were discussing about Firewall Manager. In between, we had this account organizations. I went through that. Understood about AWS organization? You need to know AWS organizations very much. Can one of you respond? Is this clear?
So the billing and everything, like the project wise, we as a solution architect, we will be still able to see the billings, or like once they.
It depends on the account manager.
Okay.
If he has given you that privilege, you can see.
Okay.
So normally they don't give privilege to that. But if you are the project manager, they'll give you the visibility because you are the person who is going to bill to the clients. So naturally, the billings here which is shown is only seen by the project, the account manager. If you are the account manager, you will get it. But if you are an IAM user, you will not be able to see.
Okay.
There are two types of root account, you'll get it. If you are IAM user, you cannot see the billing dashboard.
Unless until it, permissions are given.
No. Even if you give permission also, you will not be able to see. IAM users don't get that privilege.
Oh, okay.
Only the root account. Okay. Will be. If you are the root account holders, see, there are two types of administrators. I tell you why I am saying. So root account administrators are always administrators. They give full access. IAM users, two users, root user and IAM user. I spoke earlier, right? Remember everyone? Remember Sai?
Yes.
So root user is always having the highest privileges. IAM user, you have two types. One is that IAM user can be given full access. IAM user can also be given full access, full administrator access. But that is provided. By default, you will not get. So I shown you, right, how to create user and provide policies.
Yes.
So give the full administrator policy. So he can do everything, but he cannot see the billing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So normally no one will log in with a root account, because by seeing the email ID, people will immediately figure out, oh, he is logging in as a root account.
Okay.
If you are logging in as an email ID, then it is a root account always.
Okay. Yeah.
For a user account, it is only a small user, right? And you have account ID and all those things. So normally for our day-to-day operations, administrator also create an IAM user. And with that only he does many things. Until unless absolutely necessary, he doesn't sign in with root account. Because the only reason is that if root account is hacked, the associated account, I mean the associated servers all will be, lot of damage will be there. And you cannot basically, once it is hacked, you cannot change that root mail ID. But here in your IAM user, you can immediately delete that account. Account deletion. Root account, if you delete, all the things will be damaged.
All the things will be.
Yeah, you cannot access.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So the best practices are always for an administrator is that to create an IAM user, give full permissions and do their normal operations.
Yeah.
So that no one will get doubt. In case if an account is compromised, that account can be deleted. No basically damage will be happening to the resources, infrastructure. Is this clear?
Okay. Yes. And one on a different note, just want to ask, like, has any time it's been a, there has been a compromise with security for AWS?
Many, it keeps on happening.
Okay. I mean,
So
how security even to,
actually, see, security is not what we call as kept in books. It has to be basically what we have to do. It has to be monitored. It has to be implemented. It has to be scanned. It has to be. See, there are 7 layers of security. If you have gone in depth about security, you'll understand. So there are various type perimeter securities there. Okay, what we call as account security. There are 7 layers which are there. Even one of the security is your VPN access security. One of the security is 2-factor authentication security. Like that. How much? If you feel that is very, very important, you increase the layers of security.
Yeah.
Right? I tell you, I tell you for everyone. So if there is about 200 or 500 rupees in your purse, in your wallet, you just leave it to the hang curtain, right? We don't bother about that. Yes or no?
Yeah, that's
200, 500, maybe 1000, 2000, we just leave it. No one will take, no one bothers about that. But if the same wallet contains about 25,000, where will you keep the same wallet? Will you leave like that?
in the safe or
We'll keep it inside an almirah, something like that. Because now we are increasing the security. Maybe I'll change a little bit. Inside the wallet there is a gold coin, about 25-30 grams. Now, will you keep the same way method?
no safe.
No.
We'll use a safe.
We'll again take that not only in the almirah but in the locker also. Right? No. If it is more than a diamond is there, 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs worth. Will you keep it in the locker home?
No, bank locker.
It is not safe. Maybe a day or 2 is okay.
Not
Beyond that,
we'll keep into the bank locker.
bank locker. Because, see, why do we change the security layers? It's all security. Certain things can be managed, certain things cannot be managed. Right?
Yeah.
And what happens if there is much worth of that, beyond that? So we always select a bank also, whether it has been the damaged or not, we don't care. Oh, no, there should be someone with CC protection, a big gunman protecting with 24 hours, like that. Many things are there, many things. Security is a never-ending topic.
Yeah.
The worth, how much you have, that much amount you have to. Why you should keep means that no answer. You should have it. Right?
Yeah. So
Same
even
thing,
before
customer
someone
also.
steals it, it's better to keep it safe.
Right. Customer also. Customer is, I'll tell you, customer is somewhere not near to you. He's 7 seas apart in a different country. He never saw you also. He never so, but he is giving the entire business in your hands, in the administrator hands. He doesn't know the root password, but you know on what basis he is giving all the things. If you are doing any mischief, you know what happens to him? He'll not only lose business, he'll lose the trust. He cannot imagine all the servers and his business getting compromised in someone else's hands. How these all things are happening? It is process specific. He knows very clear. First of all, it's the security which he has taken measured. All the layers are very well managed. Very well managed. Even if one layer of security fails, he has alternative. Then only he can sleep. I'll tell you one top secret also. Most of you are aware. Those people will never trust their wife also. But they are trusting you. Why? They are not really trusting you. They are trusting the process. Yes or no?
Yeah, true.
Why can't they don't trust their wife? Because if his wife or his husband comes to know that he is having bank balance, the day when she comes to know, she will try to immediately exhaust all the things and then she leaves. That fear is there for him. It's not the case in India, but there it is like that. I have seen several. They don't tell. They go outing, they do all the kind of fun, excitement, everything, but they don't tell anything about their business. Whatever she wants, he'll give. He'll give you diamond, everything, but he'll not tell what is all the things which he's having. So,
Yeah, true.
right? So, please understand, I'm giving examples only for your understanding. So, that is a kind of security is a very big challenge. It may be, there is a starting point. I only say that the 3 letters, 3 characters, CIA, it starts and it ends with CIA also. Confidentiality, integrity and availability. If you understand in depth about all these things, security. So how many layers? Broadly 7 layers are there. How you want to organize, how you want to manage, how much you want to, it's all based on the trust, the value which you want to, value behind that and how much you can afford with that. A person who is in a slum, for him buying a 100 rupees lock is a big thing, right? A small.
Yeah.
But if you are in a 3-bedroom apartment, you can buy a strong levers, something like that. But you cannot afford to have a 24-hour security guy and a gunman sitting next to your home. But if you are a rich man, you are having a bungalow, you can do that.
Yeah, depends on like what. Yeah.
Right? So if it is a real requirement, you do that. Otherwise, you don't do.
Yeah, that's right. Depends on the worth and the requirement.
Same thing here also. Same thing here also. You are an administrator. So how much amount of level of security you want, you have to define. You have to understand the client's business properly, very well, because you are, see, those are the days in early 2000s where IT was only a department. IT, the so-called information technology was only a department. But today, I mean last 10 years, IT is no more a department. IT is the business. Please understand. Client thinks you not in the perspective of technology. He thinks about the business perspective. That's why the solutions architect is here. An architect needs to understand his business properly first, then the technology. Technology can be driven, but understanding the business is more important. In all circumstances, what type of business is doing, what is the client expectations. This is the role of the project manager. Okay, project manager should assess completely the scope, the cost, the timelines, the schedules, all these things, plan accordingly, show the benefits accordingly. If the project manager is good, client will always be with him. If he is not in sync with the client's expectations, he'll immediately ask, please change the project manager. Right. Early, see, I'm going beyond the topic, but I hope some of you understood about.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Right. Well, So let me move ahead. So I think all of you understood about the importance of organizations. So that is how the account manager, the steering committee, what we call as the quality dip managers, all the, I mean the finance people, maybe they might have a global overview about what is happening across the accounts. It's not that only the administrator, if he knows everything finished. No. So there is a team ahead, all the things, because everyone supports basically organizational benefit, that is the health, that is the profit, that is the growth. So all these things are must for an organization to flourish. So this is what Amazon solution for this one, organizations, is one of the things. Okay, so my next service for this particular one is guard duty. Guard duty. So this is not a very important one, but still it is necessary. So what is the responsibility of a guard? To safeguard you, right? For any attacks or threats. If someone is coming with a like a sword or a knife or a banduk or something like that. So what does the guards do? They immediately protect you. Same thing here also, like your antivirus shield, etc. You see this one here in my system. You always see this one, this Avast or maybe any kind of this thing which is there. Yeah, the computer is protected. Before any threats come into the system, this will immediately throw warnings. So and so is trying to attack. So immediately, without your knowledge, it will stop this because it knows that there is a potential danger. So immediately it stops. Same thing here also in guard duty for your AWS accounts. This basically helps you in your threat detection and continuous monitoring, So this is more or less a free of cost for all the things, but this is also one of the service which you can configure accordingly to your resources, whatever you have guard duty, which is there. Intelligent threat detection for your AWS accounts and all kind of workloads. So just read the captions. So this type of thing. So intelligent threat detection, which what we call as service will be helpful. There is a problem fetching. No. Leave it. It's not coming. So just go through this one. Is a threat detection service that continuously monitor for malicious activities. Same thing like your what you have your shield control in your local system, saying the malicious activities and unauthorized behavior to protect your AWS accounts, workloads, and data stored in Amazon S3. With the cloud, the collection and aggregation of your account network. See, this is more or less understandable. I don't want to go through a little in detail about this one. The service uses machine learning, anomaly detection, and integrated threat intelligence to identify and prioritize the potential threats. Okay. Guard duty analyzes tens and billions of events across AWS data sources such as CloudTrail logs, VPC flow logs, and DNS. This question has come like this. Guard duty analyzes tens and billions of events across multiple AWS sources such as CloudTrail logs. He may ask you, guard duty analyzes from what type of sources, data sources, CloudTrail event logs, VPC flow logs, DNS logs, etc. like that. So this question has come. So please go through this one highlighted. So mostly from here only it will be coming, please understand. So with a few clicks of AWS console, guard duty can be enabled with no software or hardware to deploy or to maintain. By integrating with Amazon CloudWatch events, guard duty alerts are actionable, easy to aggregate across multiple accounts, and straightforward to push into existing event and workflow systems. So that is all about this guard duty, nothing much. So just understand a similarity with your local system, with your a control like what call as a shield control or something like that into your Amazon account with related to your Amazon account, that is called as guard duty, right? The next one is again config. Yeah, any question till now? I know that I'm giving services, a lot of services, but still my expectation is that please understand the service, go through couple of times the services, try to digest, and don't get confused, because in exam you may get all this type of questions. Yeah, any questions?
We have to the guard duty, like is it defaultly provided already, or like we have to, if at all we wanted for the
Service is
project?
there. For your
Service.
service, like you have an instance. If you want, you can take that instance, go to guard duty, select the instance also, keep it over there, so that it
Okay.
monitors.
Okay.
So it monitors what all? The logs, the CloudTrail event logs, the flow logs, all these logs it will monitor, and then it will create alerts. Any malicious activity if it works, if you don't configure, it won't do.
Okay.
Right? So those things will be immediately, it will throw alerts. You have to configure your services.
Okay.
Right? Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So now let me move ahead with the next important service, where is config. So the name itself is called as a configuration management. So see this one is one tool which will tell you what all things which you are having. And this is very, very helpful for the top management also, for you also. So you might see, I'll tell you. You have several regions, right? You have several regions, several availability zones, etc., all these things. You might be having your own resources created in several regions, maybe within your account. How do you get the visibility of all the resources what you are holding? So most of your organizations had this what is called as a configuration management. So what is the role of the configuration management? It will give a complete picture about the inventory or the resources what you are holding, the resources, the infrastructure which you are holding, and also the versioning chart also will, yesterday it was 2 GB RAM, today is 4 GB RAM, something like that. So all the information is kept in a common place where you can get a high level picture of what all things which you are holding. Same thing here also. So provides an inventory of your AWS resources and a history about your configurational changes to these resources. You can use AWS config to define the rules to evaluate the configuration of compliance. Okay, so mostly done by the account manager. It's not a security service. It is a general service configuration where it defines about the complete configuration. So in today's world, especially in the DevOps world, I tell you configuration is very, very important. Is very, very important. So why configuration is very important? Can anyone tell me? In today's world, anyone? Any general answer?
Because certain things means there is a lot of things in during infrastructure creation and application deployment, and those things that we keep it at as a like in bar file or somewhere into the application inside, and we want to make some changes or any additions is what we look at, and
No,
it
that
will.
is configuration. But why do we really require this configuration management? Why do we really? The developers, why they? What is the specific advantage for them?
The projected plan of the projects, the estimations based on that.
Okay. They can get estimations. Estimations also can be derived based on the projected the plan, the configuration inventory which they hold. That also I take. Yes.
Yeah, a kind of capacity planning. All in
First
one.
thing is that the visibility will be there.
Yeah.
The visibility for a project manager or for any developer, the complete visibility will be there. Otherwise, they don't know what they are doing also. That is one. What else? Second thing is capacity planning. I agree that capacity planning is very, very important. So already they are holding about 100 GB of data. So one fellow will ask, I want 10 GB more. So without going through the configuration management, if you start creating 10 GB, 10 GB, 10 GB, you will see that one day it will be more than 500 GB also, or even 1 TB also. And you are paying for that. But where your suggested MOU says that you should not use more than 100 GB. So where is the visibility? Is this clear?
Procuring of hardware, secure.
Procuring or
Yeah.
capacity planning, the complete visibility, the inventory says that, and the inventory also says that this is the maximum limit, so and so. Or see this configuration, some of you might be aware, configuration management is also integrated with your change management. Is anyone aware of this change management process, especially in the industry?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, whenever you make a change, you need to update the configuration also. Yes or no? If you don't do that, what will happen? It will be a big flaw. So before the change manager approves your change, he will ask you to verify the configuration. And you need to provide that. Because he needs to get the visibility. Without that, see, if your budgeted plan is only for an annual about $100, it is there over there in the configuration, and already you have your usage is more than $99, and then where will you get more money? Where will you get? Where is the visibility? He'll say that sorry, you already consumed that. You should have much well taken in advance. So this is how policy decisions also can be taken based on the configuration. Sometimes what happens, the other way also think. One fellow from accounts department or finance department, because he's a rich guy, right? Finance department. So he has money. He doesn't ask anyone like your IT administrator. He wants some license, VPN license. Buy 100 licenses. He'll buy. He has that 100 license, but still he is using only 15 licenses. All the other licenses he has kept, right? And the other day and someday a department A wants to get some VPN licenses. So naturally he'll struggle for that. He has to buy for all those things. He'll take a request so and so, so and so. But if the top management comes to know that there are about 75 or 80 licenses lying idle over there, he'll ask, oh, already there is there, get from there. Immediately share those licenses. Is this a fair way?
No.
So how will the visibility come? So if it is updated in the configuration management, then only we can come. See, one side it is wasted, on the other side it is required. So how to balance these things? The top management has the visibility. I am only giving an example, nothing serious in this. So the effective usage of the infrastructure can be done by help of configuration. And how will you get the cloud resources configuration? Using this config. You'll get all the infrastructure configuration in one go. Oh, these are all the things which you are using. This is all the things which you. But remember, this can be done only by the AWS account user. I mean root user, not by the users. Is this clear about this configuration? To assess, this will be helpful for audit, evaluate configuration of your AWS resources. Config continuously monitors and records. If there is any change, it will update over there and allows you to automate the evaluation of recorded configuration against your desired configuration. You can. So what is the meaning of desired? This is the actual. So your desired is only 100 GB, recorded is about 95. So you can see there is only 5 GB you can use now. If the recorded is 105, if your desired is 100, you are using excess. You can keep all these things, information, and take action accordingly. This is called as AWS config. Yeah, any questions in understanding about this AWS config? Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So the next service which I want to tell you. So this is about all generic. This is not a security service. This is configuration management. So which is again one of the important service in your information security management systems. This configuration. So now let me explain about this trusted advisor. Already I spoke about this trusted advisor in yesterday itself. So what does it do? Trusted advisor. is an online tool that tells you about the real-time guidance to help you provision your resources following AWS best practices. So there are some kind of checks which are there. So in basic checks, there are about 6 to 7 checks which are free. But whereas for your, if you are going for developer or not developer, the other plans like your enterprise or business plan, you will get all the 115 kind of trusted advisor checks. So you may ask me, what is that all the checks which are there? So here also 6 checks are free of cost for all of you. What does this free checks means? What does this additional checks means? So these 6 checks are free means that specific ports unrestricted. Suppose I'll tell you, you open an instance, okay, an instance, right? What we call is you create an instance. There is a security group which is attached for every instance, must and should one. So in that security group, you open the ports. Naturally, you open the ports, especially in inbox. I mean, sorry, not inbox. Inside. Okay. So you define the ports which you really require. So one fellow has given asterisk dot asterisk, all ports open. Is this not a security violation? One fellow, one administrator says that why to give one by one ports? Give all the ports open.
It's a violation.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's a violation.
It's a violation, right? Who will know all these things? You have created, you have attached to the instance, who goes into that instance and checks all those things? There should be some way where this type of violation should be known to the top management, right? Especially to the top administrator.
Yes.
Right? So this trusted advisor will let you know that there is a security violation on so and so security group. So for root access, is it not MFA required or not?
It is not.
It is required. If it doesn't, then what will happen? If the password is compromised, finished. Finished.
Right.
Right? So MFA is required. MFA will really help you a lot. So this type of security checks which are there, this type of security, like you can see IAM use, MFA and root account, EBS public snapshots. You cannot keep public snapshots just like that. What will happen if you keep the public snapshots? Your data will go, the data volume which is there. So along with the data you take snapshot, right? So those snapshots are private snapshots. If you make it public, what will happen? It's a security violation. So these are called as 6 security checks are given free of cost for you.
Can we enable audit for this kind of security?
Absolutely. And this is required also, trusted advisor. They ask you. So it will tell you, basically there are 5 categories. It will tell you what category is having drawbacks or something like that. So it will tell the 5 categories which are there, like you see this one: cost optimization, performance, security, fault tolerance, service limits. Please remember, this will be asked 1 or 2 questions. You'll get it. So what I am speaking is security. They have given you all the 5 things. So 6 security checks which he has given free of cost for you. 6 security checks is free of cost for you. Is there anyone who is using free tier? Already logged in? I just wanted to show you, it's not coming here. The categories will be there. The health also will be shown. The color, I mean the green or something like that. If everything is okay, it will show you.
Should I share?
Yeah, please share. Yeah, just you can say this service, which is trusted advisor. Open that. Okay, this is already trusted advisor, right? Right, everyone. You can see this one. All the 5 categories are here. You can see here. Cost optimization. You can see here performance, security, fault tolerance, and optimization. What is that? Last ones.
Service limit.
Service limits. So these are the 5 categories. 5 categories which are there. You can see this one. Maybe click the security. Because in our free tier we have all the checks. You can see this one, it is green. It is green. You can see this one. Amazon, EBS public snapshots, nothing is there, it is green, tick. RDS public snapshots, green, nothing is there, check. So MFA, you can see this one particular, or you can say at the top you can run once the checks. You can see this one, yeah, refresh all checks. And just click the dashboard. Do you have already MFA?
Yeah.
You have MFA, you don't have MFA, right? So there are 2 warnings which are being shown here. Actions recommended. So what is the action recommended? MFA on root access is not there. This is free of cost. He has given you. If you want, you can make use. And this is used by the audit team. So there is no MFA on root account. There is it is shown across here. There is a security group, specified ports, unrestricted. There is one security group which is having specific ports, unrestricted ports are there. So that is also there. And IAM use is also there. IAM use. So here you can see this one is I think I can't see very clearly, but still we can read IAM usage there. You can verify whether your security groups any specific ports unrestricted or open or not. Yeah, go to services, maybe EC2. EC2. And go to security groups. I just wanted to show you one security group has more ports open. Go to security groups. Oh, there are a lot of security groups which is there. So I don't know which security group has violation. Yeah. You can see this inward. No, not that. Right side, right side. See this one. Three permission entries in inbound rules. 2 permission entries. Click one by one. VPC. Sorry, not VPC. The other. No, not the VPC. Scroll left. Okay. 1. Scroll down. Scroll right. So this is HTTP. So you can see not much. Port number 80. Like that, one has more permissions, excessive permissions. So you need to check that which one is having more excessive permissions. Next one. Scroll down. So you see this one. This has 0000.0. This is port 2280. This is okay. This is okay. Or if this is unwanted, you can just delete all the things.
Yeah, sure. I will delete.
All right. So because of that, it is showing that violation. Anyway, our aim and objective is to tell you that it is showing that there is something security which is there. You can do that later. Okay. So you can unshare this one. See this one, a trusted advisor. So these 5 categories which are there: cost optimization, performance, security, fault tolerance, and service limits. So they may ask you, they may give you a kind of security check and ask which category it is coming. They are asking one in service limits, maybe sometimes in performance. I saw one question came from service limits. So here trusted checks for service usage, that is more than 80% of the service limit. Values based on snapshot, so the current usage might differ from the limit usage so and so about the reflect any changes, that is service limits which are there. So 115 trusted advisor checks. So 14 for cost of no need to buy hut, 17 for security, 24 for fault tolerance, 10 for performance, and 50 for service limits. So total about 115 limits service checks are available for your business and enterprise support only get. But for the others, free tier, I mean free basic, and of course your developers, they get 6 type of checks, 7 type of checks, 6 for security and 1 I think for something else we get. Total 7 checks are available for free of cost. Is this clear? The checks, these are recommended, and definitely this will be helpful for audit. So, and also to see that your account is safe and secure. That is about your trusted advisor. Okay. Right now, let me move ahead with the inspector. This is again another security service. Inspector. What does real-time inspector do? If there is any damage happened, they will do an assessment. The role of an inspector is to do assessment. It's not a detection or something like that. Assessment. Security assessment service to help improve the security and compliance of the applications deployed in AWS. So whether the damage happened or not, if you ask for an inspector to do, it will see that the assessment, like it can be a malware, or it can be like some of you might heard about this vulnerability assessments. So periodically in every industry, especially for the websites, they do periodically every 3 months or 6 months. They do, or whenever they make changes to the website, they do a kind of vulnerability analysis or a kind of penetration testing. So what is that for? It is to see that the website is free from attacks. It is a kind of proactive test. It's not once the damage happened, then only to do. No, proactively they do. Even if there is a threat which is coming across, also they do. When they in the market, when there is a new virus which has come, or a new what we call is a kind of threat which has come, a kind like attacks which has come, it keeps on coming. They do periodically, they do, to see that whether their services are up to mark. Otherwise, if they don't do kind of I mean inspector evaluations, what will happen? The system may, or the website, or the infrastructure may get compromised. So to do such kind of tests, they perform periodically a kind of this type of things. So in that way they can safeguard these activities. It's an automated security assessment service. I tell you, security assessment service helps improve the security and compliance of applications deployed in AWS. Automatically assess the applications for exposure, vulnerabilities. We call it as vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities means weakness and deviations from the best practices. After performing an assessment, Amazon Inspector produces a detailed list of security findings. That is called as a penetration testing report, prioritized by the levels of severity. Okay. I think let me check, one of the reports should be there with me. How a report looks like, I tell you. VAPT, people often call as VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. If at all I should get the reports. It is there for every organization. They do a lot. Security engineers then generally they do, and this is basically for all your web infrastructure which is there. I mean cloud infrastructure. It does. proactively, and of course if there is any, these findings can be reviewed as a part of detailed assessment. Based on that you can apply your security patches or etc., and then take action accordingly. So that is the role of your AWS inspector. Okay, I think we have more or less covered some of the important security services. So there are some more services like budgets. So this is not a security service. It is basically something related to cost. Budgets is nothing but planning. Of course, your budgeting means it's something allocations for this particular infrastructure. Okay, I'm allocating this one for S3. I'm allocating this one, this one, this one, and see that whether you are managing within the limits, and also you can create triggers also, alarms and etc. And if it is crossing the budgets or something, you can really get alert. This is mostly done by the accounts team, but still please understand this one. Budgeting is nothing but, you may get one question also, cost control. Improve planning and cost control with flexible budgeting and forecasting. So just understand, however, the cloud agility requires you to adapt forecasting process. Otherwise, if you don't have budgets and if you don't have allocations, what happens is that you may exceed your limits. You exceed your limits, and people overspend accordingly. Match the dynamic nature of your usage. Set up custom budgets. So alerts and alarms also get it accordingly. So that is the only thing which you need to understand in this budgets. You can even integrate with SNS notifications also. You get your alerts, alarms, etc. Exceed your budget. So your actual return on investment and savings plan, RA, is return on investments. Utilization and coverage drops your desired threshold. With the budget actions, you can also configure specific actions to respond cost and usage status of your accounts. So nothing much. You may get a simple question. There is a cost also, costing also, domain 4, 18%. So you may get questions from in this particular one, angles like this. Multiple AWS cost explorer, you can easily see the difference between your cost explorer and billing is that you see cost explorer will give you a detailed analysis, visualize, understand and manage AWS cost over a usage of time, over time. So this is only, budgets is only allocations. It doesn't give you what we call is how much you have actually used. It doesn't give you anything how much actually you have. If you have created an alarm, you'll get a notification. This is only an allocation. But this cost explorer will give you actual usage. Manage your AWS cost over time. So cost explorer, detailed view, you will get it. Has a easy to use interface, visualize, understand, manage AWS cost over time. Get started quickly by creating custom reports, analyze cost based on your usage data. Analyze your data at high level, and it will also project you trends also. It will show you. So today, yesterday, day before yesterday, you have used this much. Okay, in future, maybe after 1 month, you may get this much bill. Approximate. It's not actual, approximate based on the usage. So a deep diver into your cost usage, that is called a trend. Identify trends, pinpoint cost drivers, and detect anomalies. So this is called as cost explorer. This is the service which is there even in your billing also, in your billing. So once you click your billing, you will get all the things. So you see this one, billing dashboard, you have this billing, and also cost explorer also will be part of that billing dash console. See this one, cost explorer. You need permissions, but you get this one, detailed view about, you get it. Launch cost explorer, monthly spend, the trends and all these things will be there. Bills are the actual uses, you need to pay the invoice. Cost explorer will give you the breakup, detailed breakup, and also the trending also will be shown. So that is about the cost explorer. Already I think we have spoken about these organizations. Yeah, I think these are some of the important services. Please go through all these things once again, which will be very, very helpful. Anyway, I'm sharing the recordings also. Please go through all these recordings also as and when required. You just even make your notes and then work across all these services. Yeah, any questions? Quick questions from any one of you? Please ask. So today we have gone through many of the additional services, which are again, I don't know how much important, but all the topics are important. You should be aware of all the services. Little bit more if they ask also, no matter. So with the amount of learning which you have gone through, even if a service is picked up, you should be able to understand what that service is. Yeah, any question from anyone?
Sir, my question regarding to the SSO, do you have any other authentication methods, like as you told, only for SAML, right, for AWS?
That is one of the service, Cognito.
Okay, the only
Right,
one thing.
but still you can define your own SSO certificate and then deploy accordingly. The certificate manager. So SSL, you need to know about the SSL services for SSO.
Okay, so for Windows, like we have Kerberos, something like, right? Likewise,
Kerberos is also one of them. One of them. Like as I mentioned, this LDAP is also there. Active Directory is also there. Some people do Active Directory authentication also.
okay, it supports all, like in this.
Yeah. See, in SSO, it is a single sign-on services. Some people do certificate-based authentication. Certificate-based authentication. So, what is certificate? A digital certificate, right? So, they create a digital certificate, and what they do, their certificate is kept in the browser. I'll just show you. This is in settings. You can see this particular one. Where is this? Privacy and security, or you can see the certificates. Where is the certificates?
Which section it is? Basically.
Yeah, it should be there in security itself. You can see. Yeah. You see this one, manage certificates. See this one, HTTPS and SSL based certificates. SSL is secure socket layer. So what they do, you see this one, there are some of the certificates you can see here. MS Organizational Access. This is Teams. So you see this one, this is one of the certificate. You have a private key. So you see these details also. So there is a private key, public key, all these things here in this particular one. So if you have this key, a particular service can run. This is a certificate.
Yeah.
Similarly, for the websites also, some people create certificates. Like for HTTPS especially. For HTTPS, S stands for secure. That is SSL. So once you have your certificate planted in your browser, automatically you can access that. If the certificate contains your private key or a public key, if there is no public key, then the browser won't be accepted. You can see this one, there are number of certificates which are there, number of certificates, which has been planted automatically, assigned. So this is one kind of authentication mechanism, one kind of authentication. This is also an SSL, SSO.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Many type of methodologies are there. So digital certificate is one, SSO is one, and of course, as I mentioned, your Active Directory is also one of them, right? And see, even in Wi-Fi also we use. Some of them use Wi-Fi. How do they use trusted authentication? There are some kind of radius mechanism is also there. Radius, a remote authentication, dial-in user service, something. The long form is that is also a single sign-on, which is authenticated with your master, like your Active Directory or something like that. Then you can access your Wi-Fi servers. Right? The idea is to see that the security. How you are going to authenticate is again, if you are using single sign-on, one parent certificate. If you block that certificate, or if you block that service, all the associated service will be blocked.
Yeah.
Right? If a person is leaving the organization, what will the HR people do? The last day when he is going for a separation from the company, what will the HR do?
They remove the complete account from organization.
They'll remove access from the tree, directory tree, from the tree. That enough. They'll write one mail to the administrator to remove access from the tree. that itself will lose everything access for all the sources. For all the sources, he cannot access even any of the resources. That is how it is basically a kind of single sign-on. He'll not be able to sign on inside. Probably he'll be giving only a web access email, that too for a few days. Right? And this is all secure, SSL based. And if you go through security a little bit more, you'll understand more things on that. Yeah, any other questions from any members? So I think we have covered some of the good services related to AWS, especially in the security and costing also. So yeah.